The USDA Food and Nutrition Service is very excited that Massachusetts has decided to support universal free meals. We are very excited that children will not go hungry at breakfast and lunchtime in this state, and we stand ready to provide support to both Massachusetts and any other state that is supporting universal free meals. We have technical assistance available through the USDA to support the states that decide to go this route, and very specifically we look to Massachusetts as a leader, one of only 5 states that have decided to take this up at this point in time. And we're hearing today, as we're here, the benefits that the students, the school, the parents, how much this helps in every way. Takes away the stigma from the children, how it supports the lessening of the administrative burden. And again, I just want to share that USDA Food and Nutrition Service is ready to provide that support to any state, any community that is willing to do this. And we are very appreciative of what is happening here in Massachusetts.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Erin McAleer. I'm the president and CEO of Project Bread, the statewide anti-hunger organization here in Massachusetts, working to end hunger. We're also the lead of the Feed Kids Coalition, focused on ensuring every student in Massachusetts has permanent access to school meals at no cost. I'm thrilled to be here in Braintree this morning to recognize the critical role that free school meals play for all students in schools around the state. I want to thank Mayor Kokoris and Principal Sheehan for hosting us here at East Middle School in Braintree to celebrate the fact that Massachusetts is one of only 5 states providing free school meals to all children this school year. I also want to give a big shout out to Sarah Coughlin, Alexa Downs, and your hardworking school nutrition team who make school meals for all a reality every day here in Braintree. As a federal nutrition program, school meals require partnership on the local, the state, and the federal level. That's why we're also so grateful that we have the acting regional administrator for USDA, Christine Ruggieri, in attendance today. This year in Massachusetts, the state legislature extended access to free school meals to over 400,000 students who were set to lose this critical resource when the federal pandemics end. This is a program that was proven successful over the past 3 years. In March of 2022, lunch participation in our state increased 42% over pre-pandemic participation rates in schools that had not previously been able to provide free school meals for all. Just here in Braintree, lunch participation went up 33.2%. And as you'll hear from our speakers today, this came with a number of benefits. Decreased administrative burden for the schools, less paperwork and worry for the families, and most importantly, kids who had the nutrition they needed to be present in the classroom, fed, and ready to learn. I am so grateful to Senator DiDomenico and Representative Andy Vargas, who have led this effort in the legislature, and to Senators Timilty and Senator Keenan and Representative Cusack, who supported the extension for another year this year. Thank you. And I hope you will all share our sincerest thanks to your colleagues, especially Senate President Spilka, Speaker Mariano, Chair Rodriguez, Chair Miklowitz, Chairs Lewis and Paish for prioritizing school-aged children here and across the state. The National School Lunch and School Breakfast programs were designed to ensure children have access to nutritious food during the school day to improve their health and to support their learning. Unfortunately, we know that the barriers of cost, stigma, and paperwork have long prevented the program from reaching every child who would benefit. In 2019, roughly half of students did not participate because of these barriers. This year, families in Massachusetts have the peace of mind that any day their children attend school, they can receive breakfast or lunch without paying a fee or being required to fill out any paperwork. And our hardworking school nutrition staff can focus on the most important part of their jobs, giving students the nourishment they need to learn and grow. This investment means another year of supporting children's personal and academic success, ensuring positive school meal experiences in which all children can access proper nutrition. School nutrition departments, like the amazing team here in Braintree, have worked unendingly the last 2.5 years to keep kids fed, and we're proud to partner in this work. So again, on behalf of Project Bread and the Feed Kids Coalition, and the 400,000 students who continue to have access to school meals this year at no cost, thank you. We have a number of wonderful speakers lined up to share a few words. We'll first hear from Mayor Kokoros, followed by Principal Sheehan, Senator DiDomenico, Representative Vargas, Senator Timilty, Senator Keenan, Representative Cusack, and Sarah Coughlin. So it's now my pleasure to introduce you to Mayor Kokoros.
Thank you very much, and I am so happy to stand here before you and thank our legislature and Project Bread for providing this program. As a middle school student, my family suffered some financial losses, and I was one of those kids that needed to have what we had back then was a lunch pass. And I have to tell you, it was very difficult because you did not want to be in line with someone that was paying. So the stigma is being removed, and that is probably the most important thing in bringing us forward into making sure that every child, every student has the ability to get a meal for breakfast and lunch. So important, and the fact that this has been prioritized is wonderful. So for me personally, I think this is a great step in the right direction to remove that stigma and make sure our students are fed. And I just want to thank everybody involved in making this happen, because you are helping and changing so many lives. Thank you.
Morning, everyone, and welcome to East Middle School. I would like to extend my appreciation to our elected officials and Project Bread, who continue to advocate for the safety and well-being of our students, including the continuation of universal free school meals this year. I'm John Sheehan, and I've been the principal of East Middle School for the past 13 years. I've been a teacher and an administrator for over 25, and I can proudly say that there has not been a single year that I haven't been on lunch duty. Yes, I've eaten a lot of school lunches, and yes, I've taken a lot of Tylenol, but it's been worth it. Spending so many years eating lunch with students in school cafeterias has given me a unique perspective on the importance of school meals and how they impact our kids. The East Middle School student body is reflective of the increasing diversity which makes up the town of Braintree. Our students come from many different backgrounds, and our families represent a broad spectrum of socioeconomic groups. Despite differences, you can be sure that we all have something in common. We all want our children to be safe, healthy, and ready to learn when they come to school each day. And I believe that a robust and accessible school meal program is essential to ensuring student health and academic success. The research is extensive on the benefits of school meal programs. We all know that students who eat do better than students who miss meals. Students who eat healthy meals benefit from higher grades and improved mental health. Over the past 2 years, I've seen many benefits from universal free school meals. More students are participating in the school meal program. Confusing free and reduced meal applications are no longer a barrier to families for whom English is not their first language. Students are no longer worried about having a lunch debt or a balance to pay. And lines are moving faster and kids have more time to eat. But for me, the most important benefit to our students is the removal of the stigma that has long been attached to receiving a school breakfast or lunch. I've had many conversations with students who reluctantly participated or did not participate at all because of the perception that school lunches were for the poor kids. As a young boy, like Mayor Kokoros, who experienced standing in line with my mother at the town hall of a neighboring community, picking up our monthly box of government cheese and giant can of peanut butter, I understand all too well the way many of our students felt about getting their free lunch. Universal free school meals means that all children, regardless of their situation or income level, can confidently stand in that lunch line and be assured of a healthy, well-prepared breakfast or lunch without a side of stigma. Today, more families seem to be struggling with food insecurity. We need to work hard to ensure that all of our students continue to have access to universal free school meals. I thank you for being here, and I am appreciative of the work done to make sure that the students who come to East each day are safe, healthy, and ready to learn. Thank you. Thank you.
turning my phone off and it's my turn to speak. So. I'm like, let me make sure the next speaker's not going to be interrupted. It's me. Good morning, everyone. This is great to be here in Braintree. God's country, right, Mr. Mayor? Yeah. So this is, when we first took on this endeavor with Project Bread, and Erin and her team came to us and said, this is an important issue. We have to look into this and try to make this a reality for our kids across the Commonwealth. We knew it was going to be a big undertaking. We knew that it was going to cost a lot of money. We also knew that we had to get the buy-in of leadership in both chambers. We had, I think, two good sponsors, myself and Representative Vargas, who understood the need in our communities. I represent Everett and Chelsea in particular. And we took on this endeavor with the support of a lot of our colleagues, of course, Senator Keenan, Senator Timilty, Representative Cusack as well on board. And this was really a team effort. When the federal government came down with the news that they were not going to extend universal school meals for our children across the Commonwealth, we were disappointed. We weren't sure what to make of that. We were hoping up until the deadline they were going to change their mind. But once we found out that it was going to be our responsibility, we went to work. And our Senate President, the Speaker, the two chairs of Ways and Means understood the need and came through. He came through with the advocacy of Project Bread. And there's no better advocacy group in the state than Project Bread for hunger and nutrition, and especially for children hunger issues, than Erin and her team at Project Bread. So I want to thank you, Erin, for your leadership and a national leader in this realm as well. President Biden invited a few of us down to D.C. for their first anti-hunger initiatives in 50 years. Representative Vargas and myself and Erin and her team went down there, and President Biden talked about things that we're doing already in the state. Extending universal school meals across the board for everybody, closing the SNAP gap, increasing cash assistance for families in need. Three things that we're already doing in the state. We're actually leaders in the country of what President Biden talked about as kind of the best case scenario for members of our communities across the nation. And when you talk about stigma, there's a lot of happening here. The mayor and the principal talked about in terms of the paperwork and all the things that are happening, and mentioned stigma in their own families. The human element cannot be understated with this program. To have a child walk into a school and see their peers going this way and they're going this way, they're not going that way, right? They're going with their friends because now they want to be seen as different. And now meals in our schools, in many cases, are the only meals our children have for the day. And if a child's missing one of those meals, they are not ready to learn. We've invested a tremendous amount of money in our schools. We have great school buildings, great teachers, great technology. All that money goes to waste. A child comes to school hungry and won't be able to take advantage of all the things that we're offering them in other ways. So we're just very happy we have the buy-in and support of so many people in the legislature that have come together to support our kids. I want to thank all of you for being here, and thank you for hosting us at this great school. I'm actually jealous. I walked into this school and I'm like, why can't I go to school like this? So, but thank you very much, everyone. Have a great day.
Well, good morning, everybody. I won't be repetitive. We've had some amazing remarks here this morning. I would just add that in addition to removing the stigma, in addition to the social impact of having students sit together, to the impact of students that were hungry and no longer are, the other impact is that this is a $110 million break for working families. Right? This is what the state of Massachusetts did in our budget. $110 million targeted towards parents and families that have kids in public schools. And that's a huge relief for a lot of families that don't have to think about every day preparing meals or trying to figure out where their kid's next meal is going to come from, because maybe they were just above the line for qualifying for free or reduced price meals. And that doesn't happen without the great delegation that we have here in Braintree. We like to think that once you have a good idea, the merits will just take over, right, and you can make it happen, but that's not the case. You have to have champions all across the Commonwealth, and we have that in this delegation, and Rep. Cusack, Senator Keenan, and Senator Timilty. We're also sick and tired of hearing about how wonderful Braintree is because they just don't stop talking about it. But in all seriousness, it takes that kind of coordination, coalition building under the umbrella of a great organization like Project Bread, as the Senator said, the premier organization for advocating against child hunger across the Commonwealth. And to my colleague in the Senate, Senator DiDomenico. It's been an honor to work on these issues with you. Today's a great day to celebrate this, and we're looking forward to celebrating the impact that this has had across the Commonwealth, because there are real families, real kids that are eating today because the Commonwealth did this, because the Commonwealth is one of 4 states across the country that made this happen. At the President's conference down in D.C., the issue that got the greatest claps was universal school meals. People from all across the country were so enthusiastic about universal school meals, and we were proud enough to say that we were one of the handful of states that made it possible. And people are looking to us now here in Massachusetts, and we should continue to lead on these issues. So I just want to thank everybody here today. Thank you to the nutrition team. We know that day in and day out, you have to implement this. You have to make it possible and make the dollars go as far as they can for your students. And it's evident in the increase in participation rates here. You can go to bed at night knowing that 33% more students are eating because of your work. So thank you so very much.
Thank you very much, Aaron. First of all, to Principal Sheehan, is the principal, and of course, Mayor, of course, thank you very much for hosting us. Representative Cusack, Senator Keene, and I are incredibly proud to work for this town and of this wonderful school, so thank you. And to you, Sarah and Alexa, thank you for what you do on a daily basis here. The work shines right through. Obviously, today is a very important day for all of us. Just to give you an example, during the height of the pandemic, the percentages of food insecurity skyrocketed in Norfolk County alone. So that obviously tells a horrific story right there. And today we're on a wonderful mission. I mean, the legislation that Representative Vargas and Senator DiDomenico spearheaded goes a long way towards doing the right thing. Food insecurity is unacceptable in this country, and specifically malnourished children who are trying to be educated, take part in the educational process every day is incredibly wrong and unacceptable. And with this legislation, we're going to go a long way towards combating that, and we will keep it going. So we thank you very much. It's a privilege to be here today and, of course, to work with Project Bread. Thank you very much.
Good morning. I'm John Keenan, and it's great to be here this morning to join with all of you. You know, in the legislature, we each kind of develop areas of interest where we try to then develop an expertise. And because of that system, you come to rely on others who have a different area of expertise that they have developed. And we're very fortunate because Senator DiDomenico and Rep. Vargas have developed an expertise. But beyond what they've gained and shared in their knowledge of how these programs work, their commitment and their dedication to the children of this Commonwealth is truly remarkable. And I just want to say thank you to both of you. And to my colleagues, my Braintree colleagues, Senator Timilty and Representative Cusack, it's great to be here with you and to know that the level of care that you have for the children of this district is great. We talk about stigma, we talk about administrative burdens being relieved, we talk about the impacts of good food on a child's ability to learn, and all of that is so true. But think of the longer term impacts as well, because we know that children's eating habits are formed when they are young. And the eating habits that these young children are now forming are habits that are going to be with them for the rest of their lives. They're going to be healthier. They are going to have better outcomes. They are not going to be individuals who put a huge cost burden on our healthcare delivery system. And that benefits everybody. So while we may spend $110 million this year to provide these lunches, I'm pretty certain that each year going forward, that'll be multiples in return in terms of the health of our young people and the ability of our healthcare system to move beyond issues related to malnourishment. So thinking long term, this is such a great investment. So I want to thank everybody involved, Project Bread, Braintree Public Schools, Mayor Koukouris, for your leadership here, for everybody coming together to make sure that children have access to quality meals. And somebody had mentioned about lunches. I just can't help but think how far a smoothie is and how much healthier it is than the slimy bologna sandwich that I used to eat at about 12:30 that had been in my warm locker for about 4 hours. So our children deserve nothing less than what they're getting here. It's great for everybody. Thank you.
Good morning to my colleagues in government. Thank you, and to Project Bread and John and Sarah and your team here. As a proud graduate of Braintree Public Schools, I would have been happy to eat lunch. It did not look like that when I was attending schools here in Braintree, but great job I'll be brief and don't want to be too repetitive, but just to highlight the numbers again, a 42% increase statewide, a 33% increase just here in Braintree. At the start of the pandemic, I think a lot of my colleagues in government or just the citizens at large were pretty stunned to see that, the schools had to mobilize quickly during the shutdown to provide lunches, bagged lunches for students so they did not go hungry, and to see the need for that in a community that is typically wealthy or well-to-do like Braintree was astounding to see, and I think really woke people up to this issue. And as you've heard, the benefits for the health physically, mentally, and then the benefits educationally are huge. And the $110 million investment is a small price to pay for that. And going forward, as the new session of the legislature starts in January, I look forward to working with our champions and Rep. Vargas and Senator DiDomenico to advocate once again for this funding to be included in our budget. So thank you all and congratulations.
Okay, for those who don't know me, I'm Sarah Coughlin. I'm the Director of School Nutrition for Braintree Public Schools. As you all know, federal funding for universal free meals ended on June 30th, 2022. However, we are fortunate enough to live and work in a state where our legislators realized how detrimental this would be for our students. Had Massachusetts legislators not taken action, approximately 3,700 students in Braintree would have missed out on free school meals. So, I would like to say thank you to Senator Keenan, Representative Vargas, Representative Cusack, Senator Timilty, and Senator DiDomenico, and everyone else who helped us to solidify the extension of universal free meals for this school year. Here in Braintree, student participation in the breakfast and lunch programs has increased significantly since the emergency implementation of universal free meals. For perspective, in just September alone of 2019, our participation rate was 45%. This was pre-pandemic and pre-universal free meals. I am happy to report that this September, that number has increased to 66%. And just for perspective, September is usually a crap month anyways because everyone has the new lunch boxes and they want to bring their own lunch from school. So that's a pretty high number for us. Free meals have truly leveled the playing fields for all of our students by removing the stigma associated with a tiered payment system. Now, everyone is equal in the cafeteria. Everyone can grab a breakfast or lunch for free. We all know that the basic necessities of life are food, water, shelter, and air, but it took a pandemic to highlight the importance of feeding our students at school. I recognize that we are so fortunate to have received this one-year extension, and again, I would like to thank our Massachusetts legislators for that. It is my hope that Massachusetts can continue to be a model for other states and make universal free meals permanent. Thank you again for coming, and have a great day. So in Braintree, we're just at about 35% students who qualify for free and reduced price meals, but that doesn't include the students who just missed the cutoff for free and reduced price meals based on income. So there is a definite need for free meals for all of our students. We do have some schools in particular that have a higher free and reduced percentage, but overall, there's a need at all of our schools. I do think that with food insecurity, it's not always just a problem of not having enough money. It's also a problem of having access to foods. There are often times when families don't live close enough to a grocery store where they can go and pick up healthy foods. So them having access to fresh fruits and vegetables at school is a huge help, especially when their families don't necessarily have that at home.